Hi everybody. We have a great landscape today. Very sunny, hot already in the morning. In a previous post, we discussed that nature has this amazing ecosystem where everything is orchestrated almost to perfection. It's been very hot. It's been a very hot summer, but you can still see there's snow on the mountains, and that snow basically gets stored in the winter, and over the long summer it melts and it goes into the rivers and it feeds pretty much all the region and goes into rivers, goes back into the oceans and the seas. And without that snow, of course, this place would be very different. It would be different in the winter, it would be different in the summer. Today's discussion is about this balance, right? This exact right temperature, the range of temperatures that we have in the winter, that the snow comes, and then we have the exact right temperatures for the snow to melt and for everything else around it to take life and to thrive. The same goes for our physiology, for economics, for everything that is somewhat alive. We need calibration. Today we live in a media world where the fanatics are successful because you have to make a very strong point. You have almost to make things black and white in order to shock an audience, in order to get a lot of response. The reality is that things are not necessarily black or white. And so you've got this dichotomy where the truth has to stay small. We talked in the previous post that small is beautiful, and perhaps it's like this for so much. That everything that gets too big at some point loses some authenticity. Is it a necessity to lose authenticity when you get big? I don't know. But today, all the diets that we read supposedly to make us healthier, to avoid diseases, they are very extremist. Some people will tell you, absolutely no dinner. Dinner is the last meal of the day, and it's right before we sleep. Sleep is it's a restoring exercise, right? Your body restores itself, it eliminates the bad cells. And eating, especially eating a lot before dinner, prevents good sleep. So when we prevent good sleep, then we've got other problems that comes. So some people will tell you avoid dinners, but of course, the essence of life is a social life. You come back from your day, from work, from whatever you've been doing, and you are with friends, you pour a glass of wine, you have a piece of cheese, and you want to have a nice dinner, you want to share that moment with people. It's easier to do this than breakfast, right? You don't pour the glass of wine first thing in the morning. So the question is longevity worth the sacrifice of skipping dinners? If you just take the dinner example. We've got new research that shows that sugar, and not just glucose or fructose, but all kinds of sugars, including pastas, may not be so good for us. Right? We intake food, and then our glycemic index goes up and down. And every time it goes up too much or down too much, that's how people get ill. They can get diabetes. They can have organ damage. It's bad. It's bad. I like sugar. I like chocolates, and maybe you do too. And if you just look at old people today, centenarians, not even centenarians, just people that are healthy and 80, 90 years old. Not all of them skip sugar entirely. So eliminating it entirely is not a necessity to do what these people have done. And you can keep some sense of balance that if you want to eat a piece of chocolate, have at it. Then we've got the vegetarian and the vegan diets. And these are different. These are different because there's an ethical question as to how do we humans treat animals? How different are we from animals? What right do we have in the food chain to take so much? Because feeding an animal takes enormous amounts of water, it takes enormous amounts of grass, of resources, and then of course the animal is put to death, sometimes early, and worse than this, much worse than this. These animals don't live like those cows. If you go around the corner, you'll find cows. This is their life. Their entire life is eating this delicious organic grass. And I say organic because there's absolutely nothing here. Nothing is going to spray it. It's hundreds of kilometers away from the big cities. These cows have an amazing life. And the life of a cow or a chicken or any type of animal here, it's a life in nature. It's a life of pleasure. It's a life of respect to the animal. So different from the industrial conditions where animals are in a cage, 1,000 animals in a very small space. They barely see the light of day. They're fed with antibiotics. They're fat. This is not right. So the vegetarians and the vegans oppose this, sometimes for this reason. But there is also research showing that too much meat, too much red meat especially, is detrimental. So you've got people that say, I'm not going to eat meat at all. So it's a question for all of us. What do we want out of life for ourselves and also for our respect to the environment, our interaction with the environment? I don't think we need to go to extremes of saying, I will never eat chocolate again. I will never eat a cake again. If your friends bring a cake, your wife makes a cake, you should enjoy it in the right amount, in the right time intervals, and find that sense of balance. The same goes for everything else that we do. Of course, this example was about health, but about work-life balance, everything in what goes on around us. We are part of this universe. We are the center of our little universe. But as a group, as a species, and as a planet, we're just part of a greater good, of this greater good that we are part of right now. And so it's up to us to find this balance where we allow ourselves to be happy, that we prevent many of the sicknesses too early, very early in life, because those are the harmful ones. Longevity is not about lasting forever. It's about each day, finding a day like this and being able to be together and have some good food, walk around, and treat our animal friends fairly. So, take care.